solve the problem by cutting pieces into different ways. So for example, we've talked a little bit about the different shapes and sizes that we have, right? So we might have one whole piece, and if I cut this in half, right, now I have 1/2 and 1/2. I can cut it this way, but there's another way that I can cut this piece into making equal pieces. Do you know what way that is? If you guessed going the other way, going this way, you are absolutely right. I can also color it this way or cut it this way. Give me a second as this focuses for a second. Thank you. Okay, perfect. So I could label this 1/2 and then 1/2, right? Okay, there's one more way. Do you know what way this is? I could actually take this and cut diagonal pieces. My mom used to always cut my sandwiches this way, and I liked it. So this would be 1/2 of my piece and 1/2. So as you can see, there's 3 different ways to get a half of the same exact shape. You can do this with thirds, and you can also do this with fourths, okay? So we know that there's these different ways to cut a half. I'm going to cut a fourth. It can be done the same way. So the first way I could do is just like I did down here. Okay, I can go this way, right? I can cut into fourths. Oops. And each piece would be 1/4. Okay, and just like we did up here, I can cut it this way, showing fourths. And I'm trying to be the best that I can. I know they're not exactly straight lines, but this is a fourth, this is a fourth, this is a fourth, and this is a fourth, right? Okay, so taking a look right here, same exact thing. I can cut it diagonal this way and this way to make closest fourth that I can make, right? So this is a fourth, this is a fourth, this is a fourth, and this is a fourth. So you can see there's different ways to cut the same exact shape into equal pieces. Well, our story problems today are going to be thinking, how can I use the same shape and cut it different ways? So let's go ahead and explore our first problem. Okay, I'm going to start right here. There are 2 sandwiches that are the same size. Each sandwich is divided into fourths, but the sandwiches are cut differently. How might the 2 sandwiches be cut? So it's telling me how might the 2 sandwiches be cut, okay? But I also know that they're divided differently or cut differently. So my important information that I'm learning here is that we're dividing them into fourths, they're cut differently, and how could that look? So here's the examples of my 2 different sandwiches. I have sandwich 1 and sandwich 2. And they're cut differently. So I have to remember I cannot cut them the same way. So the first way I'm going to cut this one is this way. I'm going to cut this into fourths. I'm going to show them that the sandwiches is cut this way. This shows that they are cut into 4 equal parts. Knowing that they cannot be cut into the same exact way, I have to think about, okay, what's a different way? I can't go this way. What's another way I can do that? Well, I can choose to go up and down if I want to, or I could do what I showed you over here and cut them into fourths this way. So this is a fourth, and this is a fourth, and this is a fourth, and that's a fourth, right? So these are the 2 different ways that I cut them. On the back of my paper, I'm still going to be thinking about how can I cut things differently, okay? Here it says Marcus has 2 square sheets of paper that are the same size. He wants to cut each sheet into halves. What are 2 different ways he can cut the sheets of paper? So I need 2 different ways, and they're cutting into halves. Remember, halves is 1 out of 2 pieces, right? So I'm going to cut it in half. So how could this look? So So I can cut it this way and get 2 equal pieces, or I could cut it this way and get 2 equal pieces. There's another way that I could cut it. And if you were thinking you could cut it this way too, you're absolutely right. Let's take a look at the last question. It says Shanice has 2 pieces of cloth that are the same size. She wants to divide each piece into thirds. Okay, what are 2 different ways she can do this? So I want you to stop and think. What are 2 different ways you can cut this into thirds? Third meaning I need 3 equal pieces. I could cut like this to show thirds, and I can also cut like this to show thirds. And I did my best to make sure that they were equal. Your job today is going to be reading some more problems and thinking about what are 2 different ways you can cut that piece. Remember to pay attention to how many pieces you're cutting it into. Morning, room 1.